This is a tutorial on how to find author information for a critical analysis essay. For your critical analysis essay, you need to analyze the author's credibility. And while you might get a little bit of information from the article or the TED Talk themselves, you probably will need to search for some more information. So I would recommend Googling the name of the author. Here you see Rachel Nuwer's name in the Google search bar, and I'm going to hit enter. And here I find her website. So this is a good place to get information about her education, her experiences, her credentials. If you were suspicious or skeptical about the veracity of the information she might post on her own website, you could also check that against more objective sources. So here's National Geographic, Smithsonian Magazine, the Pulitzer Center, and double check that information. For our purposes, probably the author's website is sufficient. Notice that this website is going to take me to the About section of her website. So I'm going to click that. And here I am on her website, and it's the Rachel Nuwer website. I am on the page called About. Sometimes it's a little difficult to know what the page is called. I think this would be called the About page. So I have the title. I have the web address. I can look around to see if there is a date, which there doesn't seem to be any. And of course, I know that the author is Rachel Nuwer. You can read the information, use what is helpful to you in your analysis essay. Please paraphrase. Do not copy word for word. We want to avoid direct quoting if at all possible. If you do need to quote a short part of it, you would need to put in the quotation marks and specify the particular paragraph that that information came from. But please try to avoid directly quoting. Use your own wording, use your own summary skills to provide that information. The other author that you watched in this case was Lera Boroditsky with her TED Talk. So again, you could Google her name, and you can see right here is her website. There's a Wikipedia, which you would try to avoid in terms of citing on an academic paper. A couple of other places you could look, Edge or TED, but we're going to go into her own website. Pretty Spartan, but you can see this is the title of her page. She would be the author. You have the URL up here, and there does not appear to be a date. Okay, again, paraphrase information that you need for your analysis. You will need to list these sources in addition to the article and the video on your references page. So to start, you could do the Boroditsky article, last name, comma, first initial. There was no date. The title of her web page was her name. And then you would simply put the URL of that web page. Now, I do need to make the title in italics because that is a web page. I don't need to put the website because that is actually her website. So since the author is also the site, we won't repeat that. Okay, next is Rachel Nuwer. Again, no date. In this case, the title of this page was About. And that would be in italics. We'll go back to the article and get that URL. Take it off italics. Oops, still in italics. And there we go. Again, you don't need a website here because the website is her website. Okay, so as far as I can tell, that would be the correct way to list those sources. Make sure that you have all 4 sources on your references page. Make sure they are alphabetized. In this case, we do have these 2 in order, but when you add the other 2, make sure you rearrange them to make sure everything is in alphabetical order by the first word in the entry. Okay, I hope that's helpful as you work on this essay.